All right. Hey, everyone, and welcome back to Be a Warrior podcast. I'm so grateful that you are here. I hope last week you enjoyed my inaugural podcast episode, Starfish Arms and Lizard Legs. That was my very first one when I had no idea what I was doing. And sometimes I feel like I'm still learning, but I hope that you got a chance to enjoy it, especially if you have been a new follower and never went back to the old episodes. That's when it was really fresh in my mind, having become an amputee not long before that. But I am now moving forward into the fact that it is fall. We're in November. We noticed last night how dark it was already here in Arizona at 5 something in the evening. And all of our Christmas boxes are in my hallway out there. So I can get Christmas going this week. We do a lot of traveling during November, December. And quite frankly, there's too many boxes to do that after Thanksgiving for just a couple weeks. So my routine has changed drastically since our kids were little, when we used to wait till the day after Thanksgiving. Now it's the day after Halloween. I'm one of those, I know. This week, I wanted to give you a kind of a warrior cry and a wake up call. Yesterday, I realized that it was my pups, my youngest one's second birthday. Number one, felt like a bad parent because I totally forgot. It has been such a whirlwind around here that I totally forgot until later in the day. And so today, I'm going to go and do one of their favorite things. I'm going to take our dogs for a ride and I'm going to open up the windows. Then I started sitting there thinking, I'm like, you know what? This is a really good moment to teach. And that is the fact that to have that pure joy and bliss that a dog feels when the windows are down in a car and they get to put their head out the window and the wind in their face, ears are flying back. It is pure joy, right? That is, they don't live for much else except to make us happy, to love us, to eat. And when they can go for a car ride. And I thought, gosh, isn't that true about life for us? Like sometimes we lose sight in the midst of our pain, in the midst of our struggles, we lose sight of the pure joy of an everyday event. And this is my wake up call for you today. I know so many of you that are struggling right now with your amputation. You're struggling with a medical issue. And if you're out there listening and you are just struggling in a relationship or a job or school, this is for you. This is your wake up call that if a dog can find pure joy by going for a ride with the windows down, and we are talking, this is the best time of year, even in Arizona, to go for that drive. And yes, I'm talking metaphorically, but I'm also talking literally. Sometimes me getting out in my car with the windows down and the music going brings such happiness to me. And I get to let go of all things that I've been worried about, thinking about, anxious about, and just drive. Listen to some good music, offend no one with my poor singing skills, but sing loud, sing proud, and have the windows down. So I want to go back a few years. The same year that I lost my leg in December, that same year in January, the beginning of 2018, I lost my mom and my best friend. And that was the hardest thing I've ever gone through. Like, I haven't lost really anybody in my life. I've lost grandparents, yes, but my grandparents didn't live close. It wasn't like some of you that may have been raised by a grandparent or whatever. They were in another state. We would see them a couple times a year, and that's about it. But life went on, right? And yes, it's so sad to see a grandparent um, pass away, but I don't think it can match losing a parent. And I know many of you have gone through that. And let me tell you, one of the things that you are rudely awakened to is the fact that in the midst of your grief, your pain, your suffering, your anger of losing someone so dear to you, there is a moment that you realize that everyone else's life is going on. that the world keeps turning, that jobs keep happening, that people still keep suffering, that just surgeries happen, this happens, that happens, and no one is the wiser of your pain and your world being stopped in that moment. And that is where this comes from. This comes from a place where I realized the brutal awakening was coming back to Arizona after being in Illinois for over a month, handling everything from seeing my mom pass away in January to going through all the rituals of preparing for a funeral. And then after being with my family who all live in Illinois, all my brothers there, and my dad, coming back to Arizona to life, to life that knows that nothing about my plight, and driving down the street and the moments where I'm like, oh, I should call my mom about that, and having that gut wrenching feeling that just takes over and brings up that sadness that's so strong that you can't help but cry in the middle of driving. And I remember looking to the left and right of me at a stoplight and seeing people doing their life, and I'm thinking, they don't know what kind of pain I'm feeling right now. So if you have been that person, you understand what I'm talking about. It is incredible to see that people can live their life despite what you're going through, right? Like it's mind-blowing that you can feel such depth of sorrow and pain and anger, and no one else feels that. That they're just moving on their way. They're maybe heading out to lunch with a friend, or they're heading to work, or they're coming home from work. They're going off to see a concert they've been wanting to see, and they're in happiness mode. And you realize that you are very, very alone. And I know for some of you right now, that's exactly how you feel with your amputation or the struggles of the amputation, because God knows that just because you go through the surgery and just because the wound heals doesn't mean that you are healed. That doesn't mean you are pain free. That doesn't mean you're back to normal, quote unquote, normal. Um, it just means that you're on another part of your journey and you are the only one that's going through it. And even your support system and the people around you who can see it, they still they have to move on with their day, right? They can come and sit with you at the hospital. They can go and visit you at your home. But the moment they leave, they're on to their next task, their errand they're running, their work they're going home to clean up the house, make dinner. They're doing life. And you are still where you were when they were there with you. And that is a heartbreaking moment because you have a couple choices. Number one, to sit there and wallow in that self pity, to have that pity party. And by all means, have it if you need it. I've had mine, I've had my fair share. But you know what? At the end of a 5 minute cry sesh or whatever, or anger, pull your bootstraps up and move forward. You can't sit there. One, it's not healthy for you, and it's definitely not healthy for any relationships in your life. This is the battle cry for today. Today, I need you to realize that despite what you're going through, the world is turning. The days are clicking by, the hours are ticking off the clock, and life is getting shorter every breath you take. It is. And if you don't realize that you might be wasting away on the anxiety and the pain and the frustration and sitting there feeling that pity, that you aren't going to get anywhere. Now, I know some of you are in the midst of truly a major um, moment in your medical journey. I know that. For you, you keep plugging along, but don't lose sight of life. Don't lose sight of what you do have because of what you're going through. And that is where taking the drive, going to eat the ice cream, go enjoy life, find the joy in life again. Find the little things that can bring you happiness despite the circumstances. When we realize that It is the simple things that can bring us happiness, and it is what holds us back from really living and experiencing life and being stuck and caught in a situation. Don't forget, your situation will come and go. We all go through it. We all have a day or a week or even a month or even a year for some of you that suck. I had from 2013 to 2018, before I chose to amputate, where my life was wrapped around medical appointments, PT, surgeries, healing, icing, stretching, and trying to homeschool my kids through it. I tell you, the only thing that grounded me was homeschooling my kids during all of that. Like, I had been homeschooling them, but we didn't stop because of my situation. And my kids saved me. Being able to be wrapped up in their curriculum and what they were going through allowed me to separate my medical issue from my life. And that I am so forever grateful for. Yes, it was so hard. I'm sure they learned lessons that I never meant for them to learn. And I do know that my boys are very empathetic individuals now because they saw what their mom went through. And I'm really hoping that they also learned how to fight, and not complain and rise up when life gets hard. Those are the lessons that I couldn't teach them out of a textbook, but I really am hoping they saw in the 5 years of me struggling through those surgeries. But I didn't lose sight of what was really important. Yes, there were probably weeks at a time, but when I look back in the 5 years, I remember those moments. I remember the gut wrenching moments of watching them go up on a ski lift with my husband while I sat at the lodge and watched them go up, and them waving from up in the ski chair, the ski lift chair, while I sat down. And that was so painful, but it showed me I was alive. Like, that pain is what drove me forward to wanting to get back onto skis again. And when I had my amputation in December of 2018, my husband had already planned a ski trip for April. And you know what? Even though he didn't want me to, I had my goal before the surgery that I was going to ski with them. I don't think he thought that that was even a possibility. But you know what your mind tells you is a very powerful thing. And I was up on a ski and outriggers in April. I just had my prosthetic for 1 week, but I did not ski with it. I never ski with it. I ski with one ski. And that is what got me through the amputation and knowing that I could ski again. And the most beautiful, most powerful moment after amputation had to be, number one, waking up and being in a great place. But number two, a very close number two, was actually getting a picture of me, my two boys, my husband, on the top of a mountain on skis, smiling and crying, because it was everything we had dreamt of when we were younger that we were going to do in our life. And it was the one thing in the 5 years that I could not do with my family that ripped my heart apart. We have to remember the things that make us happy and continue to do them despite the circumstances. Our mind can drive us forward. I tell you guys a lot about my vision board, and I have it sitting up there. I have it hung in my new office here. That vision board got me from September of 18 to my amputation, and it has stuck by my side, showing me the possibilities that are endless for me, and that losing a leg wasn't going to stop me from doing things, but it was going to allow me to do things. It was a very powerful, powerful tool in my healing. That is something you can work on and do for yourself, especially if you're struggling right now. Find sayings, find this could be the call to action this week. I don't want to drag this on, but let's go call to action. Number one, get out and live. No matter what it takes, even if you're sitting in a hospital room, dream. Start writing down your goals, your aspirations. Dream big. Don't be afraid to dream big, because if you dream small, you'll get small. If you dream big, then you might be able to reach that. And if you don't, you take the baby steps until you get there. You might not be in a position right now to go running or to even get out and walk, but what can you do right now? What can set you up for that success in the future? So start dreaming now. Get the sayings, get powerful sayings, get Bible verses if you are a spiritual Christian person. Get pictures of the things you love to do, even if they're from a magazine and you've never done them. Like when I hadn't surfed before, I was thinking of all the surfers that I had started to meet because I was dreaming of someday surfing. And I had never surfed before I was an amputee. And now I surf. I love to surf. I love the ocean. It fills me with power and it fills me with promise and joy. And when I'm out there, I forget everything else. Those are the things you want to be putting on your vision board, your dreams, your aspirations, the hope of a future that's bright. Because once we start that powerful pathway in our thoughts, nothing can stop us because our brain is what drives us. But when we get into an empathetic or almost a pathetic cycle of a woe is me, and of course, everyone else is doing better. Not everyone else is doing better. I guarantee you that is not the case. I know so many people struggling right now. And I don't know that many people, but a lot of you are struggling. And if you are, it's time to let go once in a while from your struggles and find something that brings a smile to your face and lightens your heart and allows you to dream and allows you to hope. You know, when we dream and we have hope, then we have a future. So get yourself up. Start thinking of the positives within your situation. And instead of, and I love this, instead of the what if I don't ever heal? What if this infection doesn't go? What if I have to get an amputation? What if I have to re-amputate or revise? Instead of saying what if, say even if. Even if this happens, okay, even if I don't heal this week, even if it takes a month, even if, what can you do in the meantime? Because sitting there and thinking about it, wallowing in it, and only focusing on that, that is that is a buzzkill. Like that is something you're going to struggle with, and it's going to take a toll on your mental, your physical, and your emotional well-being. So if you're medically struggling right now, why would you want to take down the emotional and the mental side of it? Start picking that part up because even if you're stuck in a bed right now or on the couch or the chair and you're not walking or you're not moving as much as you want to, you can sharpen your mental skills. You can elevate your emotional. For example, when my dad came to visit a couple years ago, it was probably one of his most painful trips because he didn't realize it, but his hip was bone on bone and it got really bad right after getting here, like really bad. Like he came with a cane, but he ended up using my walker everywhere. We ended up really sitting in our house a ton and icing him or he, I can't remember what we did, but he always had something on his hip because it was so much pain. But you know what I did? Truly, I took the dog point of view. I asked him, "Do you want to go for a drive?" Because you know what? Getting out, feeling the fresh air, seeing sights, seeing more than your four walls or the same TV screen, that's just sad. It makes you sad. It doesn't lift you up. It doesn't inspire. Nature inspires. Being out inspires. You need to change your venue in the view that you have. And I'll tell you what, he was elated to go for a drive. We got on one of our roads here, put the windows down, and we went literally till the road ended out here. We got on the dirt roads. We had just had rain, and I, at the time, had my Jeep. We took my Jeep through that full on, and I had mud up onto my roof of my Jeep. He thought it was the greatest thing ever. And we found incredible views that were breathtaking and inspiring. And it was the most beautiful moment. And yet, even though he was in pain, he found happiness in the moment. And sometimes that's all it takes to lift us up and keep us going and motivated. to seeing a brighter future. So I say, take the ride, roll down the windows, eat the ice cream, enjoy your life, no matter where it is right now. Because I guarantee you, it will not be like this forever. With everything, there is a cycle. We cycle into good times, we cycle into bad times, but we never stay in one setting ever. It never lasts. Pain doesn't last. And we can cycle that and help the cycle change for the better by being proactive in what we do. This is a warrior mentality. This is what you need to do to live a full life, no matter what you're going through. And I hope you will take the challenge. I hope you'll try to make a vision board, but in the least, call to action. Go out and take the road trip with the windows down and let the wind blow your hair into a mess. Who cares what it looks like? Go enjoy life. Do what you can with what you have right now to pass the time, but passing the time with full view of your life, not shaded dark grays of your life. Bring in the bright colors, bring in the joy, and live your life. Find it, dig deep down inside, especially right now if you are struggling hard to find anything that remotely makes you happy. We all have something. We just have to sometimes dig a little bit harder than other people at this moment. But don't make any mistake. There are other people going through things. The ones that succeed to get through them with their sanity intact are the ones that have figured out a way to find joy in the little moments. Live your life, you guys. Live it strong and live it large. You only get one time to go through this. And if you wait until your problem is solved to live, then you are going to miss out on so many beautiful moments, so many sunrises and sunsets, so many beautiful views and rainstorms and dancing in the rain. You're going to miss it. Don't miss your life because of this moment. Get out there and live it. You are all warriors. You're all stronger than you think you are. Find the joy. Windows down, go for the ride, sing loud and proud, even if your voice is horrible, it doesn't matter. Live it. Live your life right now. Do not wait until it gets better, because you might be waiting for a while and you're going to miss out on some very beautiful moments. I hope this helped. I hope you have a really great week. And if you are struggling, reach out to me. Let's have a conversation. I would love to talk to you about how to change your mental game and swap it for the best medicine you can find. So have a great week. And as always, be healthy, be happy, be you.